this merchandise that I got from them. What's the annual? It should say what year it was. Well, I don't know. They started it later. It didn't start in the 40s, that's for sure. There's a whole long story with that. But anyways, but every year they have this UFO festival because that's, and they're just a small town in the middle of nowhere, man. So that does good for the town, you know what I mean? But anyways, I guess I'm sure I reached out to them, but I think of like years ago, and then eventually they just got back to me and said, "Hey, are you guys, what are you doing? Can you get over here?" And we just made it happen, man. Like and it was what a long road, dude. I don't know if you remember, but I was trying to do it not Patreon. What are the things called? What's that called?
One of those crowdfunding things. Yeah.
Yeah, the crowdfunding. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to do that. And it wasn't really garnering. People were giving and they were helping out, and there was a lot of like people behind us and support, like radio. I mean, there really was a lot of support behind us because everybody's like, "Okay, you guys belong out there." It's obvious. So we did get a lot of support, but it took a lot for us and our families to try to piece it together. Like we were going to get this RV and get the whole band and just go out there, and then one of the guys at the last minute couldn't do it, and like, oh my God, and it was like, I was like, what the hell am I going to do now? We got these people that were like under contract. They expect us to be there. And I just reached out to one of my friends in Jersey, AJ, amazing bass player, friend of mine, played in his band, connected years ago. We met in Step Kings days, actually. He was a DJ at WSOU. But he came down. We like rehearsed poolside his hotel pool when he came down in Florida a couple times, and had a rehearsal once maybe, and it's it. But he's such a great player and professional. We just got it. So it ended up being a 3-piece for that one. And me and Dave and AJ, they flew in, Dave flew from Florida to get to Roswell. AJ flew from Jersey, and then I got like a 15-seater bus. And I just took me and my wife and my kids, and we shoved stuff and merch and the amps in the back, and we just did like this 3-day hike across the country, and it was freaking awesome, man. Like it was just cool, man. Like, we stopped in Dallas and saw like JFK got shot, and I was like, well, you know what? If we're doing conspiracy stuff with Roswell and all that stuff and aliens, we might as well stop at the other conspiracy spot where JFK, with all that stuff. So alien gear was on there, and I was, doing stuff with that. So
were they were pretty receptive of you guys?
But it was good, man. When we got to Roswell and stuff.
Yeah. They dig the music.
Yeah, we eventually got there. Took us 3 days to get there. We got there. It was crazy, Steve, man. It's like when we got there, they're already. I found out later the radio station had been playing our stuff on the radio there like for a month. Like they were just blasting it, And I was like, and I knew other parts of the country were doing it, but like it was important that people would know it's there. And when we rolled in, it's like I did an interview at the radio station. They're really freaking cool. It's a very small town, man. Like I didn't realize like how tiny it was. Like Roswell, when you're like a ufology person, you're like into UFOs, and Roswell's like the Mecca kind of in a way for that kind of stuff. And you get there, it's like, wow, this is like a dairy, like it's like a dairy town, and there's flies everywhere, and like, but it's fun. It's like it's all alien shops, and like it's really, really cool. So we get there, did it, played songs on the radio and stuff. And then we just started shopping, checking out stores and stuff. And I'm a talker, so I'm going in and talking to people like, "Hey, we're playing the show later in the week." We showed up, I think, July 3rd, and then we're hanging out, and then we're like, it's just stuff like stuff. We open the newspaper, we get this big spread on us in the newspaper. It's like, wow, man, like, they really welcomed us, And like I'm talking to somebody in one of the shops, and they're like, "Hey, what kind of music is it?" What? I said, "Well, I don't know. Like in the record just come out just the year before." I said, "Oh yeah, we got this Bruno Mars cover we do," and I just thought of that because I heard it on the radio. Like, "Oh, Bruno Mars." I'm like, "Yeah, it sounds like this." And I listened to it, and it was us. I was like, "Oh shit, no, that doesn't sound like us. That is us." It's like, "Oh my god!" So it's it's just like funny stuff like that, and it was cool, man. They had a great music scene out there, and really, really awesome people, and they're just. just I'm really back because being on the desert, like, and then so July 4th happens. We have a good time, and that was like on a Wednesday. We were supposed to play on a I think it was a Saturday, so one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to go to the crash site where that alleged UFO crash happened, and I was like, all right, we're gonna go to this crash site and we're gonna make a video, and we're gonna do one of the songs called Reconnected. We're gonna do a video for that song. We come from outer space, and this whole time I was like, yeah, I'm trying to talk to the government that's there, and about getting on the land, and the land it's complicated because of owners on the land, but they lease it from the government, and you can't this and that, and you need permits, and there's all this stuff. I was like, Jesus, what am I going to do? And so I basically, so as I was doing that, I was just telling everybody, we're going to shoot this video. Whoever wants to be involved that's in the area, let's do it, and then I didn't realize that nobody had ever been on that land, and that where that alleged UFO crashed in Roswell. It's actually Corona, New Mexico, but nobody had been there from the public, except for maybe like news media or something, for 70 years. Nobody's been on there. And I'm like, and I didn't realize it. I just thought you could just go there and check it out. And everybody's like, no. But I think I started a shitstorm because the family that owned the ranch was like, I think they caught wind of it. And they said, well, you know what? Why don't we just see if we can make tours? And when the festival gets going, we'll bring bus tours out to check out the crash site. And they had to go through a bunch of shit and jump through hoops. And I was like, all right. And then we teamed up with them. And so somehow we were able to be first and only alien rock band ever to like physically play on a UFO crash site in the middle of the desert. It's kind of epic, man, if you think about the history of what it is. And, we could have been any band, but it's like an alien rock band kind of coming home, you know what I mean, or something,
That's pretty I like how you guys, like, nobody had been there so long, but you guys just showed up like, fuck you, we're doing this. We're just going to show up and make a video.
Yeah. And everybody was compliant, man. And people, and the funny thing is, dude, when we were there, they were bringing busloads of people out. So there was like a crowd of people, like, just were like, they didn't know about it, most of these people, because they're going out there, researchers are like, wow, what is this? Or just curious about it. And then they get in, there's aliens playing, like, what the fuck is this, So
it's best tour ever. Yeah.
It's just, yeah. So it was, I had a time in my life. It was really, really cool. And I got to travel out with my family and make all the stops, epic stop to see all the crazy stuff. And then after then we rushed back at the video shoot from the crash site, went back from Corona to Roswell, which is a 2-hour trip. Within 5 minutes, 5 minutes of spare, we had to run up on stage, play our set. Set went over great. It was, people were just like, I found out later they never had they've had rock bands, but like kind of like classic rock and this and that, and they never had like a like a modern kind of. I think the Foo Fighters played there in 1990 or no 2005. They played there or something, but they never had like anybody come in for the festival and do that. Everybody was just like, oh my god, So and they were so receptive. So we played the show. It was a lot of fun. Huh?
So I was gonna say, but the Foo Fighters didn't play at the crash site. So you guys got them top.
No, they did. That's correct. That's correct.
That,
so when
Dave
I meet
Grohl.
Dave someday,
Yep.
Yeah, the only person that Dave Grohl has not played with or for or been in contact with is Jesus. So when he if he descends from the heavens ever, I'm sure Dave is be the first one in line to be playing with, because that guy has played with everybody.
Everybody. And he seems like a really good dude too.
Seems like, they say he's the nicest guy in rock, so I'll have to challenge him with that. But he's I'm a big fan of those guys for years. But yeah, so we got done with the gig, and then they had us in the parade. So it was just crazy. So we're in the paper, on the news, we're on the radio, we put the gig, we're on the crash site, and then they put us in this alien parade at the end of the night. And I was like, oh my God. Are we getting the key to the city? That's what I want to know. So, But it was cool, dude, and it was, and they got a international UFO, really cool, you know, about all the history with it. And the guy, and just a little side note too, the guy that really turned the city around. Oh my God, I can't believe it. You have to cut this out because I'm blanking right now. Name. Oh my God, I'm totally blanking. Yeah, he was the guy responsible for doing all the research to find out, because in the 40s, when you had that, and when it happened in 7, the newspaper and everything, saying the UFO crashed there. Yeah, it happened, and maybe it was a blip in the news, and it kind of like went away. But you know, in today, it would be like, oh my God, it would be immediate, like, you know, like that. But and I can't think of his name. Oh, it's killing me. Anyways, a big ufology researcher was there. It was Stanton Friedman. Friedman. He's the one who's responsible for bringing Oswald to the forefront and stuff. But anyways, it was Stanton Friedman Day when we were there too. So it was another thing. And I met, talk with him. Going back to when I was 7 years old, you know, the research, there's my research guy, and then the sci-fi part of it, and then the music, like everything, like we said earlier, everything culminated right there, you know, because even as it is today, I'm like part of a whole bunch of, you know, UFO researcher stuff. And as you probably see in the news, there's a lot of shit going on that glossed over because 2020 has been sucking balls in many ways. But, you know, it's like alien ships flying everywhere, and people are like, yeah, okay, you know.
It's definitely been a rough year. I'm actually gonna put in another Brothers of Alien Rock song. It's one of my favorites that I've heard. Just Dead Wrong.
Oh, nice. Dead Wrong's right. I didn't mention that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Slap it on.
Both your
We're Back. That was Dead Wrong. Probably my favorite Brothers of Alien Rock song. And I think most of these songs are available on, you mentioned Reverb Nation. And I think you could download most of them there, and they're also on iTunes. But you should go to iTunes. You should go to iTunes and buy them.
That's right.
And are there hard copies of the albums available?
Oh, you know what? I do have them. Yeah, actually, I have for both those records. Well, you know what? Actually, I forgot to mention. Well, we haven't gotten there yet, but for those two records, they're CDs for Landing, and We Come From Outer Space. I actually have like a little, it looks like the size of a credit card, plastic thing. Let me show you. Let me see if I have it. You won't see it on the.
You guys won't see it, but we'll show you a picture or something.
So this is the so we got CD, and I can send this to you, man. CD and yeah, and actually, you know what? Let me show you. There's the and then there's the original mask.
The original mask.
That's
where it all began.
Yeah, so
that's the
and then
the beginning of the invasion.
Yeah, and then this thing we came up with for We Come From Outer Space. It's just like a little card, but like you pop it out. And you just pop it in USB, and it's cool because it has 6 songs on it, and it's got a lot of artwork and posters and a bunch of cool stuff in there, so a little extra media. So yeah, so hard copies of those,
Where can people find copies of these?
Yeah, you probably got to reach out to us because on the web we have brothersofalienrock.com, but it doesn't really have a lot of the merch in there. I mean, we have the music, we have shirts, we have stickers, frisbees, for all sorts of shit, man. But you'd have to. It's something I got to do. I didn't do that in 2020. I meant to do it. I've been busy doing other recording and doing stuff.
Well, it's probably the best way to get you, like the Facebook page or.
Yeah. We're on. Oh yeah, okay. So aside from the website, and Reverb Nation, you'll see us there, and YouTube and everything. But also, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're pretty active in those. We're pretty much posting definitely there, and you can reach out in any of those. It's always at In Rock Music is if you just type that in any of those.
At Alien Rock Music, and we're gonna make sure sure that to post links to all these and everything when the episode drops.
Cool. Yeah.
That's good. So people know they could just reach out to you and order a copy of it from you. So that's good. People should get a hold of this. So this is really good.
Yeah, and I'll put.
Like honestly, the first time I heard the band, I think it was actually the Bruno Mars cover. Somehow, like I don't know, like maybe you might have posted a video of it or something, and I watched it, and I was like, this sounds amazing, and these guys look crazy. Let me dig in and find more. And I heard it, and I was like, dang, like why is this stuff not on the radio? Like I don't know. Are you guys getting like airplay there?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. I think right around, especially kind of with the Roswell show, it was kind of really building up. There was a lot of regional, local and regional radio and little spots around the country. Also in the UK seems to be a lot too, and a little bit in Italy. I mean, it's a little spotty all around the world, which is easier, I guess, to do as an independent artist these days. So radio's there, but as far as I think when you talk about radio, like what radio are we talking about? Are we talking about like something like you hear like Beyonce radio, like not her radio, but I mean that level of artist. I think it's to be honest and to be realistic with things like a rock radio single, for example. I mean, these companies are spending like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to push these singles in rock, but in like more pop and hip hop stuff is even more. So that's kind of what independent artists are kind of like, I guess, competing against. It's like if you don't have the big machine behind you is one thing, but then at the same time, we have platforms, that we have all these social medias and we have websites, we have all the things that we need to, just really fuck off with the record labels, So as far as big radio, I think one part of radio I think we should be on that. I have friends in there and everything. We should really push forward to his, like satellite radio and stuff, getting that, and stuff. Probably be a better move even, but yeah, we'd love some radio play, some more radio play, but it ain't easy, Jack.
Right. So is earlier, like you mentioned, the Step Kings being on a pretty notable label. Is there like a lot of lessons learned from that time in your music to help you now? Like, is it make it easier to be like, fuck the radio, let's just do this like we're doing it?
Well, you know what it is, man. You know what really? When we were on our way to like the first. I remember when we put our first full length out. We put an EP out, and then we put our first full length out independently. And that summer, and we had a big send off. We had a record release party in New York at Wetlands. It was called this club, and everybody was there, jam packed. And I knew the labels were there too, because we spent a couple of years networking and really kind of. There was like these big music conferences like CMJ and different things that we would meet people and just kind of whatever, just kind of network a bit. But anyways, that summer when we made our own little tour. We had an independent record out, and we started getting calls with no manager or anything, just calls directly to us from labels and like, hey, what's going on? And these guys would show up at like these gigs, and like we'd be in the middle of the country. Like we'd have a lot of good gigs, but sometimes we'd have a shit one where there'd be like 10 people hanging out, and there's like whatever, some dude from Sony's hanging out. And we're like rocking balls, but there's nobody there. And it's like, oh man, I mean, isn't there a better situation than this? But I guess the point is that that summer, man, when we were going through that, we were all reading up, man. We had books and we were studying, we were trying to like figure this whole thing out on our own. And I think the networking and the education of ourselves in that period of history and just the drive, like the three of us had in that band, it kind of like, I mean, I guess it kind of prepared us and me for anything. Like if the industry takes a nosedive, which it kind of did, you know what I mean? I don't know, I guess maybe between early 2000 and 2010, I guess things start, there was like, the whole thing with Napster and this and that, Metallica getting all pissed off about that. And, and music kind of being, just something that people got for free, and it just kind of changed things, and musicians weren't ready for that. But I think what I learned from playing in the Step Kings and working together as a team like we did, like you don't always find that, man. Like just like me and Mike and Bob were some weird anomaly. Like, I mean, not like there's always, we're the greatest band or whatever, but just like work ethic and like, we never missed a show. Like we were going to Canada. We were up from New York. We were going through Buffalo, and we just got over the border to some show we had to get to, and it was the worst torrential snowstorm ever of that in years. And we were like got stuck in the snow like 15 times. We're like outside pushing, and the wipers weren't working. All this punk rock shit was going on, and we just did fucking anything we could to make it the show. And if we didn't make, and it's fun because that one particular show didn't make it there, Toronto, to do that show, we wouldn't have met this one guy who was friends with a guy from Roadrunner, and so there's all like these things that you do that you keep pushing forward through. And I think lessons were learned about the biggest lesson was you got to do shit yourself anyways. So, and that's what a lot of musicians now, if they can't figure that out, if you can't create something on your own and push it yourself, nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to give a shit. You know what I mean? It's why, if you don't do a podcast yourself and push it yourself and do the work behind it, nobody's going to give a fuck because there's 1,000 podcasts. But if you want to aspire and make it something that's uniquely you, which is the easy part actually, because there's never, ever going to be another Steve, another Crypto. Like there's never going to be, you guys are yourselves. And the more you're yourselves, and the more you keep crafting yourself and working things up, it's going to be successful, man. And even if there's a billion listeners, you're going to grow a base, man. And if anything, you guys are having a fucking blast. you know. So, you know, and you're doing something right. I mean, you're doing something you love, man. Isn't, you know?
That's what it is for me, man.
Talk, man.
That's what it is for me. Get to catch up with old friends.
Yeah.
Get to have fun talking about shit we like to talk about. We get to let people like you just promote your work, your art. You know what I mean? What you're putting out there. That's my main thing. I just want to give people like an outlet to push their craft. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm not artistic or, you know, musically talented. So like this is my craft is opening up for you guys to making that, like I said, that platform for you to tell the world about your thing. And I mean, we're starting to get listeners. It's starting to, you know, snowball a little bit, so that's good. I think the COVID stuff kind of allowed me to be able to kind of just immerse myself in learning how to do all this stuff, and because I've had no experience dealing with recording any audio before this, so like I just kind of dove in and ran through some YouTube and all that stuff. But yeah, man, I think COVID kind of helped in a way. But what has it allowed you time to really sit down and write new stuff? And
well, I tell you, Steve, the funny thing is, man, I my writing, the way it works with me, I kind of actually have to physically and mentally shut myself off from it. Like I could be a spurting faucet all day long, like all day, waking up ready for like I have to like tell myself, okay, I gotta stop. I have to tell myself to stop in the creative mode so I can go, like, you know, whatever, cut the grass or go to this job or do whatever, you know what I mean? But when it comes to this year, the COVID and everything, it's like, I know it paralyzed a lot of people, but you know, for me, I just had that inner work ethic, so I wasn't going to let that happen anyways. But I used this time to really, I definitely wrote a lot of stuff and still writing, but I also was able to find another part of my musicality that I think was going to help my artistic side. And I do music licensing now. So I write for film and for TV, you know, and ads and mini movies and pilots and things like that. So, you know, so a lot of these songs that I've written recently too have gotten on other podcasts and gotten, you know, that's like their theme songs and, you know, spots and different things. So, you know, it's getting out there. So I was able to really kind of like hone in a little bit more on my home recording, you know, and like, for example, like Come Together, we did a Beatles song, and you know, and I worked with that with a friend of mine, Scott O'Farrell, amazing drummer. I did, you know, aside from the drums, I did all that, you know, from my house, you know, and I did have Machine master it though. Actually, Machine is another incredible individual in the business. He worked with some early Step King stuff and helped us record. But anyway, so yeah, I was able to hone in my craft of recording stuff at home, because it's important too, because not everybody can run to the studio and spend the money in the studio these days, and there's a lot of easy access to recording. I think like Billie Eilish, I think she recorded her record in her closet in her bedroom with her brother, and it's like, you know,
it's blowing up. It's like the biggest thing in the world right now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, that just tells you it doesn't fucking matter. Like you know, you don't have to go to this, spend billions of dollars in a studio. So I use 2020 to kind of craft that, get my craft in home recording a little bit better, and work on licensing, because licensing for me, like what the way it works is record companies are still there, but there's a whole underworld of this thing called sync licensing, and sync means synchronizing music to images, to video and pictures. So sync music. So there's whole companies out there, thousands of companies out there in the world that are called music libraries, and basically, you know, you'll like creating. A lot of stuff's instrumental, but I have vocals, so I can use my vocals for a lot of stuff. But you know, they'll music libraries will buy a whole album from you, and they'll license it out to whatever, Universal or you know, ESPN versus the Sports Network, or I mean, all this different stuff. So I found another way that I can still be creative and still write for my band and other bands and collaborate, and that still also have a hand in licensing, which is kind of like a residual income. If you can get royalties from it. Like I have royalties from Step King stuff from fucking years ago that's still coming in, you know, from movies we're in Toxic Avenger. We had a song in.
I like first time I heard that. You know, I love Lloyd Kaufman and all, you know, all the Trauma stuff. So like which was I think it was Toxic 3, might have been.
I think it
was 2 or 4. 3 or 4. It was one of the. And I just remember watching it.
I think it was the one.
I just remember watching it and hearing just the beginning of the song. I was like, wait, I know that fucking song. And then they played it. I was like, no shit, it's those guys. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
But so we got a lot of that. Just a lot of movies and stuff. So that's what I was doing in 2020. And dude, I had a lot of extra family time and connecting with other people and look, we're still in 2020, dude, and we're connecting. You know, I mean, we've been actually for the past few years. Yeah. You know, but this is another level. This kind of stuff, like all of us should have been doing this fucking years ago. It's just like, hey, let's jump on, even for a couple minutes. Yo, what's up? You know, but just life, man. You know, so
it's weird how everything works. But so hey, since you mentioned Come Together, let's run that song.
Let's run it, man. Yeah, use your eyeballs, bro.
So, Come Together. That's a classic song. Like, what inspired you to record that?
Oh man, you know, it's funny. I you know, we talked about growing up with Van Halen. I have a whole metal and jazz and funk and everything, every kind of catalog growing up and being a musician. But the Beatles, it's funny. I've always loved the Beatles, but I never really dove super deep into them, right? But then my son, who was 12 at the time, and just kind of I've been surrounded by music because of me, obviously, but he started taking interest in the Beatles. He started playing piano, and then so I went in with him, and we dove super deep. He's a young kid, and he's like, you know, he's got a 4-page list of like probably 500 different artists, and he's like, I'm going down the list, Dad. I'm listening to this one. Then I'm gonna do Zeppelin. Then I'm gonna do the Who. Then I'm gonna do Sabbath. Then I'm gonna check out. But so he's got that. But when he started in the Beatles, we both went down that path, and I was like, fuck, man, these guys. And when you go in the documentaries and you watch and read what they did, dude, they changed the whole business. They changed everything back then. And you wouldn't really know it. You wouldn't, like, things that we just normally think, oh, band, you know, modern concept of band is from them. Like, you know, they innovated a lot, man, back in the day. So anyway, it was just down that rabbit hole. And I, you know, like kind of, I did a lot of Beatles songs. I kind of just recorded them, you know, just kind of made them my own. I you know, you might see somewhere on some of the, probably Instagram mostly, you'll see like little bits and pieces of stuff that I recorded, even on the personal page too. I think you might. There was like I did. I forget. I did Hold My Hand, and did a whole bunch, like 4 or 5 different songs. But Come Together, for some reason, that one we actually had played live for the past few years. And I was like, I love playing this one because we just take the riff and make it heavy and make it something else, you know? And I was like, wow, I feel really comfortable on the song. What if we recorded it? What would it sound like? Because not all the songs sound as good as you expect when you do it, you know? But when we did that one, I was like, shit, yeah, this will work. so
yeah, but it sounded great. Turned out great. So what's next for the band? What's next for Brothers of Alien Rock?
Well, we got the last little chat that we did, maybe to wrap up what has happened. 2019, actually, there was a thing called Alien Stock. I don't know if you remember. There was a thing in the around July 2019. There's some kid, like he's in college, and he just made this Facebook event. And he's like, "What? Let's storm Area 51." You know, I think it was called "They Can't Stop All of Us." You know, storm Area 51, and the idea was a bunch of people together and go in the desert and bust down the fences and raid the facility. I think it was a joke. I think the idea was a joke, but it ended up getting like 1 million people on the event. So I was like saying, you know what? If people are getting interested in this, like, why don't we just turn this into a festival? Whatever happens, this event happens, I'm taking the band there, and we're going to play in the desert again, except we're going to play at Area 51 this time. And I was like, yeah. And so I did the same thing. I did the GoFundMe kind of thing. I did all that. And as soon as I said that, like 3 weeks later, the guy who did the post is like, you know, we're going to make it a festival. You know, I'm like, okay, cool. Sounds like a good plan. So I don't know if I had any direct influence, but I put it out there big time that we were going to the place. So anyway, and I wrote I wrote a whole another 3-song, another EP called "Stop All of Us" for that event, and that also was up and all with all the other music. So that's the third release that we had. And that's They Can't Stop All of Us. Another one called Don't Storm the Gates. And then another one called A51, kind of a instrumental. That one's been played in a lot of podcasts, a lot of different venues and stuff too. So we did that. So and that was cool. And we actually came out of that. We were in Time magazine on that one. So when that happened, lady left me a message. I couldn't even believe what I was hearing. I was like, this is Reza from Time Magazine. Just want to talk to you about what you're doing here. I'm like, what? Who? so we actually got in Time Magazine. It was a trip, man. So it's still up. So if you find, I can probably send you the link. You can send that to put that on the link too.
Yeah, man, I'll share all that stuff.
But so yeah, it was. Yeah, dude, it was big. So having a couple albums and then getting the third album, getting that kind of press for the new album, new EP was like a trip. And then, so that's what happened last year. And then, leading up to now, then I did Come Together, as mentioned, and played that. So what's next for the band? So what's next is we actually this year. Well, we had several gigs planned here, of course. 2020 took a shit on all of us with that particular live music scene. I mean, lots of people, a lot of friends I have in the industry are really hurting because of what's been going on. Like, friends of mine that do like, tour managing or Metallica and things like that. I mean, it ain't happening. So, that's been tough. It got to be, and then all the stuff got canceled we were going to do. And it got to be to the point, like, end of the summer, I was like, I'm dying to play out live. I got to do something. So I found this small venue that's probably about a half an hour from me. It's in Tavares, Florida. It's called Jonesy's Cafe, and it's actually really cool, man. It's a second inch of their coffee. It's a coffee shop, but it's the first one is called the Coffee Shop of Horrors, and it's all like horror themed everything. Coffee. It's mostly coffee, but they have food and they have shirts and like you go into the place and there's like it's like your background there, like all your memorabilia and all my stuff I got, like total nerds like us, and and I know them from doing festivals, and they played the Aliens, and that was at the Alien Summit, and they were the vendors and stuff. So anyways, so we got this cool like alternative avant-garde coffee shop that's all horror themed thing. So you know what? We gotta play live, man. I don't care what it is, if I'm playing for 5 people, whatever. And I was thinking too, like in August, I'm like, I'm booking this now, but I'm pretty sure things are gonna open up. And it depends on what part of the country you are, whether it's open up. But Florida just opened up 100% capacity for restaurants, bars, things like that. So I don't know if that's the smartest thing or not right now, but other people are still a little skittish, maybe.
Yeah.
But at least we're in our little sector of the country over here, I booked it and I was like, I'm just gonna do that, man. just gonna go with it. And we got another band Against Us All that's playing with us. Great local Florida band. And then I got another guy opening just on acoustic. His name's Tanner Keegan, and Tanner plays bass with Tremonti. Mark Tremonti, amazing guitar player, but it's like real heavy, awesome stuff. But Mark Tremonti actually was a guitar player for Creed,
right?
So that's kind of like his project. So anyways, the bass player from that band is opening up, and he's really super soulful, awesome dude. So so that's what we got planned coming up. It's gonna be October 30th. And I didn't want to play right on Halloween night because for me and my family, we like to go out and get kooky. We got, if you can see in the back, I don't know if your listeners obviously won't be able to see it, but you can see I can't even close my closet door. I got costumes popping out. We're overloaded with Halloween. This is like our month, man. Halloween is like the deal for us. So, yeah, man. So that's it. We got the gig coming up. We're playing the 30th. It's going to be cool, man. If you guys are local, anybody in Tavares here, it's at Jonesy's Cafe, and it's a super small place, very intimate, and they're gonna have they got some kind of car show outside. And they got a trunk or treat thing for the kids, and it's a costume party basically, and it's alien monsters theme. So you can be whatever you want, but the great thing is that if you want to wear a mask, cool, but you're already gonna have a mask on anyway. So we're gonna have double masks for Halloween. So,
can never be too safe.
Yeah, exactly, man. So
that's
we don't want any problems with that.
Tavares, Florida.
Yeah, Tavares, Florida. Yeah,
Florida.
And Jones. You could look it up. Tavares, Tavares, and Jonesy's Cafe. You'll find that on Facebook as well. I'm sure they got a website and everything too. You could also look up Coffee Shop of Horrors too. That's the original site they had to. But it's cool. This place is awesome, man. They got like 6 video game stations there, and they huge wood tables, like it looks like from Camelot or something, and a lot of gaming there, board games and stuff. It's a great, nerdy, cool place, man, and the coffee's awesome, and the music's going to be great at the end of the month. I know that. So. Yeah, dude, that's what's going on, man. I mean, that's the dilly.
That's good, man. It's good to finally get you on here. Run down where everybody could find the Brothers of Alien Rock on social media again.
Yeah. So Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, you're going to find it at Alien Rock Music. All those by there. YouTube, Brothers of Alien Rock. All the digital forms for audio between the 3 records, the landing, They Can't Stop All of Us, those 3 records, single, come together. Those are all available as well. You can see us on Reverb Nation too. You can look up that way. brothersofalienrock.com. Not a lot there, but we need to vamp that a bit. So that's where you're finding us. And man, we got some surprises coming for the month. It is Halloween, so we have we're actually playing on a holiday album too. So
I was actually gonna sneak that in before we wrap up here and mention a really fun cover of a song from my personal favorite Christmas movie. You guys covered the Grinch song.
Yeah, man.
And if it's cool with you, I'll run that at the end of the episode and let people check that out.
Yeah, definitely. That's that one is not available to buy yet, but it's out, and there could be some other surprises with it. So we're gonna play it live too at the show. You can see it, but it's just fun, man. I think the Grinch is he's like the perfect. It is a holiday thing, of course. He's like, I don't know. He ushers in the holidays the best, if you ask me. You know what I mean? He's kind of a dick, but his heart grows back to the right size eventually. and he sees the errors of his ways, you know, and he's a great Halloween / Christmas mix, if you ask me. So
I mean, there is that really obscure kind of shitty Grinch Halloween special. I don't know if you've ever seen that. You can find it on YouTube. It's not that good, but it's a thing.
I think so. Was it cartoon? Okay, was it cartoon or no? Or was it live?
It was animated. Yep.
Okay, animated. Yep.
But yeah, man.
I think I must have. I'm sure.
Thanks again for coming on and sharing the Brothers of Alien Rock with us. And it's at Alien Rock Music, basically everywhere. And as always, I am going to post links and all that good stuff so people could find you and reach out and get copies of those albums because people need to hear it, as far as I'm concerned. And thank you again, Fern, for coming on. It was good talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me, man, dude. I tell you, it means a lot, dude. That it means a lot just for us to talk and out, man, really. And I appreciate it, man, using your platform to help out, man. Because any of these artists or any of these creators that you've had on so far, man, it's every little bit counts, man. And you know, it's huge, man. To me, it's definitely huge. So I appreciate it, dude. I really do, big time. You know. So, and that's
thanks again, dude. Thanks, man. Thanks again to Mike Fernbacher, aka Fern from the Brothers of Alien Rock, for hanging out and chatting. That was a good time. Enjoyed talking with that guy after a long time. You can be sure to head over to thestevestrout.com for info and links and everything for the Brothers of Alien Rock. And we're going to close this episode with that cover of the Grinch that we were talking about. It was really fun cover of a classic from probably my favorite holiday movie. Well, favorite Christmas movie. And yeah, man, check it out. I think you guys would dig it. It's fun. Great cover. And thank you guys again for listening. We've been the Steve and Crypto Show, and we'll talk to you soon.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black bag. Mr. Grinch, your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot Mr. Grinch, you have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between the two of you, I'll take the seasick crocodile. Socks, your soul is full of gum, Mr. Grinch. describe you as follows, and I quote, stand, oh, whoa, whoa, yeah, home is the ground, whoa, whoa, yeah, home is the ground, whoa, your soul is an appalling donkey, overflowing with the most disgraceful assaultment of rubbish imaginable. All mangled up and tangled up knots. Your three-decker sauerkraut and toadstool sandwich with arsenic sauce.